Okay, so hello class. Today my topic is going to be about changing the homework structure from being written in order to being more into fieldwork and experiments. So I'll start off by asking you guys a question. Do you like homeworks or
No.
assignments? How about if we turn out to fieldwork or experimentation? Wouldn't that involve entertainment more and more? So I will start off by explaining what the problem is and how we need to change this homework structure into being fieldwork and experiments instead of being written. And I will simplify in a couple of cases where this homework problem was presented or where it occurred. And finally, I'll present an example of how this technique of changing the homework structure from being written into fieldwork was presented and how it delivered better results for the schools that presented this suggestion. So first of all, I'll explain what a homework means. So according to dictionary.com, a homework means that the schoolwork, which is assigned by the professors to be done outside of class. So when the word homework comes into place, there are two words that emerged into mind directly, which is workload and pressure. So I'll take into consideration the example of the NGN competition, which was done last week for the engineers. This NGN competition had the experience for the students of attending the course, learning about how to do the project, and have it as a homework to be done at home, and then present the project with the benefit of experiencing this as students. So if we had this implemented in a business course like accounting, how about taking these numbers and playing with them to make it as a fun for the students to have more discussions, debates, modeling activities, experiments, and group work. So this requires a face-to-face conversation between the students, which makes it more entertaining for them, and they gain knowledge and as well as being entertained. Well, for a lecture, it's not always open for a group work or discussion because the teacher has a limited time to finish the material and deliver all the knowledge for the students to get within a limit of 50 minutes, let's say. So according to Cynthia Andrews in her article posted in Education Today in 2001, she explains a situation where where the teachers implement the homework for the students just to get the idea and implement it in their real life. Let's take into consideration a math problem. When you're given this math problem in school, you don't get it from the first time. So the professors give you this homework, which is based on you going for practice in order to get the concept behind this math problem. Teachers think of the homework as if it's more of a practice, while the students think it's more of a workload and pressure. So because this makes the student need to finish this homework within the limited time and within the due date. So this appears to being a trend which goes on from being as children and then follows us as we grow more and more. Moreover, for the keyword, which is pressure, Kenneth Goldberg explained how pressure plays a huge role in affecting students to maintain their homework without facing panic and frustration. So according to Kenneth Goldberg in 2014, in his article, Why Principals Should Beware of Homework, he stated that homework may count as much as 25% of the grade. So even though it's not supposed to consume that much time, it actually does. And he concluded by stating that even penalties do not motivate children who can consistently skip homework. They do not mobilize parents, and this affects the situation that only increases tension within the people in the house. So imagine this situation has actually happened with children who are up most 7th and 8th graders. So how about if this comes and follows us in the university? For for the pressure, we became masters in this, because we as university students handled this pressure from elementary schools, and we had this in our university years. And workload, we've had lots of that too. So now that I've showed you guys why AUS should implement this change, I will move on into simplifying some examples of where this homework problem occurred. So according to Leo C1 from Straits Times newspaper in 2011, she stated and expressed a situation happening with a woman who is named Kristen Tan and her children. So she stated in an article, housewife Kristen Tan's son, in a primary one, he spends 2 hours in doing homework every day. While her other son, who is in primary 4, attends the same school as his younger brother, he spent the June holidays doing more than 50 multiple choice for each subject. So this brings to mind that the students who are in primary 1 and primary 4, who are considered to be in primary school and elementary school, have this tension of doing homework more and more. So in the article itself, it also included a stat that about half of the 20 parents who are interviewed by the Straits Times newspaper expressed their concern that their children were given too much homework to handle. In another example, according to research done in 2000 by Ian Sook Hong, he did a study that expressed how 272 7th graders had this experience between choosing preferred homework styles or actual homework styles. So in this study, he examined that students who react to pressure and stressful homework, and how they reacted to the changing of the environment and the methods they applied during the study. After doing this whole study, the results were composed that neither the preferred nor the actual were chosen by all students. Because the thing that goes into mind in this article is that students have their own preferred environment when it comes to doing homework. Because some might do it at home, some might do it in the car while going to school, or some might even do it in bed, because each student has his own comfortable environment. He focuses on it, and he's comfortable while doing his homework. And this problem presented with Hong with the result that falls into place with the concern that students, that you cannot satisfy the choices of all students, because each student has his own comfortable environment. This issue comes into place also with Bruce Feiler from New York Times. So according to Bruce Feiler from New York Times in 2013, he stated that homework has a branding problem, or to be a little less point-heady, it's about how everybody hates homework. Bruce's article was also based on choosing the right environment and its effects on the students. And during this article, he did a research and an interview with some experts in this field. So the experts responded to this as being reasonable, because they stated that you cannot always just give the student his own environment. Because let's say, for example, doing the homework in the kitchen. It's not reasonable for a student to do the homework in the kitchen, because sometimes you lose focus, and it affects how the homework is done and how it is done. Now that I've explained the examples, I went previously through the problems that we face, I will now explain the fun part, which is the experience and the achievement. Now I'll move on to presenting a solution to this homework structure and how entertainment becomes a major part of it. Innovation is the key word that comes into place, and it resembles what both Ohio State University and Clintondale's High School used in order to make this homework process entertaining for the students and beneficial at the same time. According to Jeremy Strayer in his article, The Dissertation, published in 2007, he explained the research that was done in Ohio State University and how it was made possible. The term he used was flipped classroom. Flipped classroom means this new system is one such innovative classroom structure that moves the lecture outside of the class and moves the homework and assignments and practices inside the class with the usage of the professors as for help and benefits. Strayer's research was based on comparing the classroom flip versus the traditional and lecture homework structure. The university used an intelligent tutoring system, and they used this in order to deliver the lectures outside of class, and then the students completed the active learning in class with the professors. So in this case, they helped the students to do the work with the concepts in the course, and then included this lecture homework classroom to be intended, instead of outside, to being intended in class with the help of the professors. Next, in Clintondale's high school, according to Mike Fritz from PBS NewsHour in 2013, he stated that Clintondale is the nation's first completely flipped school, meaning teachers record lectures for students to watch online outside of class, and what was once considered homework is now done during class, allowing students to work through assignments together and ask teachers for help if they run into questions. To prove how this works, Mike Fritz also stated that Clintondale was ranked among the worst 5% of all schools in the state of Michigan prior to the flip. He then stated that since that happened, and since they intended to use this classroom flip structure, the principal states that the failure rates for the students have declined from 52% up to 19%, and the standardized test scores have risen steadily and are rising in a constant rate. In conclusion, I would encourage you guys to, whoever is not satisfied with the homework structure and would like to get entertainment as a part of this experience, to take action in order to support this idea of changing the homework structure and implementing the same structure that these previous schools implemented, or something in the same range of what they implemented, in order to have the gaining of the knowledge, the experience, involving entertainment as well as in this educational process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what the